when did you really start to realize the business aspect of the NFL?
The business aspect was definitely, my rookie season with the inactive and all that stuff. Just like I was like, oh, like I gotta let me pay attention to how this really works when it comes to the finances and everything. I was like, do I still get paid if I'm inactive, like, and all that stuff? So I really dug deep into that. And look, I mean, when you get drafted, obviously you get signing bonuses and things of that nature. Kind of learning, when you get paid, how much you're getting paid, and all that stuff. Making sure you have the right financial people in place to make sure you guys are on the same page as far as if you want to invest or if you don't want to invest. How aggressive or how conservative you want to be with your money, and just communicating with those guys. However much you want to communicate. It could be daily, weekly, monthly. You gotta let those guys know. So for me, you definitely learn that, in your rookie season. And look, the more you're in it, the more you understand it. I think the more guys that, are more aware, of those situations, not just, handing your money off to somebody and like, all right, you just take care of it. And like, you just let me know when you need something from me. I don't think that should be the case. You should be trying to, learn as much as possible about, your finances to make sure, you have a good understanding of what's going on as well. In the beginning, I probably had zero interest in in the beginning. And I think the more the more money you accumulate, I think the more interest you start to find, because you want to make sure that money is being used correctly and being saved properly. So I will give my financial advisor John Peterson a ton of credit. He's Gio's financial advisor as well. He comes to meet with my wife and I every off season, even now to this day, to kind of go over finances, and he communicates very well of what he thinks the market's going to look like, and how he thinks we should play or whatever, what he thinks we should put our money into, and get a good understanding of all of that. So yeah, I think the more the years go by, the more interest you find in it, whether you want to get into real estate or more stocks, more bonds, treasuries, whatever it may be. He does a good job of communicating, and I'm still learning, honestly. I mean, you never can learn enough when it comes to that, because there's always different stuff. There's different loopholes and, and all this other stuff. So always being a sponge.
When you probably get the first big payday or something like that, right? What was it like really finding people too, and like trusting people?
It's kind of funny. My rookie year, or before that, when I was getting drafted and all, I met with like 3 or 4 different financial advisors. One who represented a few people in my agency, one who did a speech at the Senior Bowl when I was there, before the draft and everything, and then I met with John Peterson, the guy who I have now. Didn't end up going with him at the first time. I ended up going with the guy who represented a few guys in my agency. He was good. He communicated well, very personable. Felt like a guy you could trust in everything. But he ended up, making some infraction, like where his company ended up having to leave his company. So I had to find somebody else. So then I had to interview a few more people the next year. Signed with a different guy who was based in Fort Lauderdale, a guy by the name of like Gene Harvey. He was a good dude as well. But he ended up having to leave his company like my second year. So I ended up going with, John Peterson the third time around. Probably should have went with him, in the beginning. But hey, so each of the guys that I had, I trusted them all. They all, communicated well. So luckily when it came to that, but it's all a feel thing. Nobody can tell you who to pick and who to trust. You just have to feel like you can communicate with those guys. I said, not even just about your money. You just got to be able to communicate. I feel like on like a friend type, basis. I think that's how you build trust with somebody.